Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hello. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is serious, something that should not be taken lightly, and something that was ultimately a beginning to an ending for me mentally and was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Um, it was 2020 and it was the beginning of 2020. It was in January. And my sister, if you guys don't know, was diagnosed with schizophrenia when she was 18, sorry. When she was 18, and she has been having it for, I'm sorry, it doesn't go away, but she's been struggling with it, I should say, for years now. There are some people who function with the illness, and there are some people who don't function as well with the illness. It's really just a spectrum. Some people function well than others. Like I can work and go to get a job with ease. She can't because her mental capacity doesn't allow for that. And my sister is very violent. She's very aggressive. She's very angry for some reason. And she puts on a front for other people. Like, she's very sweet and nice, and sometimes she can be, but like I said before in my previous video, if you watched it, that spirit or that demon or whatever voice that she's talking to can turn her into a totally different person. And so I remember one morning, we were living with my grandmother at the time, after my mom left her 16-year um relationship. Well, that's a whole different story. But we were living with my grandmother at the time, and no one was home. My mom had went to work. My grandma went to work, and it was just me and my sister at the house. And she was having one of those bad days where she was very angry. I guess getting agitated or upset. She was talking a lot more. And I remember um walking into the kitchen, and we have the house, the way the house is made. There's the front door, and then there's a little hallway that leads to the kitchen, and then there's a back door. And I remember we had a dog at the time. His name was Ziggy. Rest in peace, Ziggy. And Ziggy, I just remember we had on the back door, we had a screen door, a wooden screen door. And I remember I just saw her just pulling him with force, just dragging him through the screen door. Like she pulled him by his neck and with force forced him through the door. So I was like, she's hurting my dog. And so I was like, why would you do that? I was like, why would you, what I'm saying? Like that just enraged me because I'm like, why would you sit up there and do that to him? He's a small puppy at the time because he's a puppy at this moment. I don't think he was even a year old yet. And I'm sorry, yeah, he wasn't even a year old yet. And she just did that to him. And I didn't kind of, I felt very upset about it. And I was getting very tired of her because I think just a couple of days before we had gotten into it because when she gets angry like that, she doesn't want to take her medication. She doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to sit there and be mad and miserable all day long. And it affects the mood of the house, and it's very annoying. Me and my sister has been sharing a room since we were children. I have never had my own freaking room, and I'm about to be 23 years old. But needless to say, whatever, everybody ain't got it like that. Everybody ain't got it like that. And that's something that I have to understand. I just thank God that I just have a house to sleep in anyways. Sorry if I sound ungrateful. I'm just a little bit angry at that. Not at the fact that I don't have my own room, but the fact I have to share it with my sister. I can share a room with anybody else except for her. And so, needless to say though, I was like, why would you do that? Like, why, like, you hurting him? Why would you drag him through the screen door? And she was like, she's like arguing with herself in the bathroom right now, getting all worked up. But anyways, I'm gonna hurry up the story time before she comes out the bathroom. Anyways, I'm like, why would you do that? You know, why would you do that to him? And she's like, oh, bitch, get out my face and yada, yada, yada. Shut the fuck up. And she's just going off. So I know that she's about to start having an episode because I can see the signs when she's about to start, going, like, losing herself. And if you don't know anything about the illness, is that when every time you have an episode with schizophrenia, you lose a piece of your, like, it chips away at your brain. Like I said in my previous video, you literally lose a piece of, your brain every time you have an episode. It eats away at it. So um I just pick up my phone because I know she's about to go into an episode and I don't want things to escalate from there. And she's all up in my face and she's back and forth, pacing back and forth. So I grab my phone. I call the police because I'm like, she's about to go to the hospital. She's having an episode. And if you guys don't know, this is before I was diagnosed with the illness. I was 18 at the time. I didn't get diagnosed until I was 19. So I call the police and I'm like, hey, my sister is having a crisis. Can you guys please come and pick her up? So she walks back because she's at the front door. Remember, I told you it's a corridor that leads to the kitchen. So she comes and she jacks my phone out of my hand and she walks over into the den because when you walk in, it's the front door, then it's the den right here. She walks to the den and she's like, bitch, you called the police on me? And she throws my phone across the room. And she was like, I got something for you. And at that moment, I just knew it was like, oh crap, like it's gonna be over with. So she goes and I hear her rambling through stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, my sister, we always have fought before because, at the time I was ignorant to her illness. And at the time, I just didn't truly understand what it was like until I had my episode. So needless to say, I hear her shuffling, and at this point, I don't run, I don't do nothing because like I'm frozen. I'm like I don't know what to do. Like it's like one of those moments where like in a scary movie where they can, like when you're telling the person like run, get out of there, don't stay, and they're still snooping around because the killer is in the house. It's one of those moments. And so she comes back with a pair of Annie hair cutting scissors, and I'm walking. I'm like, she comes from out at this point, but before she comes out the room, I'm walking towards the door down the corridor. She comes from around the corner with a pair of scissors, and she just starts going full force, like with all her strength, and just start attacking me with um scissors. And I got, stabbed multiple times. I have a scar. I don't know if I can show you guys. I can't really show you guys the scar in this shirt, but I have a long scar on my arm. I'll show it to you guys one day. I might include pictures in this video, but I have a long keloid scar on my arm because she sliced me up right there. I have some in the back of my head, because she stabbed me all in my head multiple times. Um, I even have one or two little keloids on this arm because she stabbed me on this side as well. And I remember in the moment when she was doing it, I just felt the scissors just going in my head, like she was going ham. She was like really stabbing me up. And I remember I pushed her, I just kept pushing her off me. And the last time I did it, she dropped the scissors and she ran out the house. And I remember I went and walked out the door and walked to my friend's house because she was right around the corner from me. And I had to call my mom because When I called the police, they never showed up. If you live in New Orleans, then you know when you call them, they don't show up. They just don't. It's sad. It's a sad realization, but if you call them, they will take forever to come or not come at all. And so, I remember I walked back to the house after a while, thinking that she had left, but she actually came from out the house. And when she saw me, I was going up the stairs and she was coming out. She punched me in the face. And then she ran, like she had this bewildered, crazy look. I don't like using the C word, sorry. She had this bewildered look on her face. She punched me in the eye and then she ran away. And I remember my mom came home. She didn't call the police. She told me don't call them. And um she just put some iodine. If you don't know what iodine is, it's something that cleans up deep cuts and wounds. And she just kind of like cleaned me up and stuff like that. And my sister did return back to the house, and we had to act like nothing ever happened because at this point she just completely blocked it out of her mind. And she returned back to the house, I think like a day or two later, because I think I went by like my uncle's house or something. I can't remember exactly what I did after that, but I remember I cut off all my hair. Like I just had a breakdown. Like I just cut off all my hair. My hair was like this big, and I was just so angry with my sister. And I think when we talk about we reaching 12 minutes, so I'm about to wrap this up. I told you guys I never want these to be too long, but to this day, I still have troubles forgiving her for what she did to me. And it's so hard to forgive somebody once they do that to you, illness or no illness, because the realization is that you have the help, you have the resources here, you have the peer support specialist, you have the psychiatrist. But when you're not taking the actions and the steps to help yourself and to work towards helping your situation, you choose to be violent and angry almost every single day, it starts to piss me and other people in the house off. I've been very understanding. I've been very calm. I've been very patient, but it's only so much somebody can take. And even to this day, we are still going through that with her. And I'm trying my best to show compassion and to be forgiving, but it's hard. I'm not even gonna lie. But vengeance is mine, says the Lord. And on that note, I'm gonna end this video diary. It's getting too long. Make sure you guys, I guess, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. I got plenty more stories. I have a lot of stories, okay? This is years and years and years of craziness. Oh, sorry, I keep using the C word. I don't like using the C word, but this is years of stuff that we've been that just this is just a slice of the cake. This isn't even the whole cake. But see you guys later, and until my next video diary. Bye.